up to 15, and then I've also talked about how they go up to 20. Where is this going to lead us? This is going to lead us into factoring, where we're going to today talk about the difference of two squares. So what happens if we go to factor and we have two terms, and we know they're both perfect squares? This is the factoring pattern. What we do is we take whatever the first term is squared and whatever the last term is squared. Okay? So in this case, if I have x squared minus 25, x squared is a perfect square, right? It's x. 25 is a perfect square. It's 5. And so in this case, I get x plus 5 times x minus 5. Okay? Or, notice you could reverse them. And then t squared minus 64. T is a perfect square. 8 is what 64 is squared. So that will factor to be t plus 8, t minus 8. So let's go ahead and look at an example and see how we do. Factor each polynomial. So the first thing we need to do when we look at these, can I take out something that's in common? No, there's nothing that's in common with those numbers. So now I have two terms. So my next option is to look for perfect squares. Is 16 a perfect square? Yes. Yeah. What is squared to give me 16? 4. Is h squared a perfect square? Yes. What is squared to give me h squared? H. Okay, now notice how I'm writing these. Okay, what about 9?
Yes.
3. A. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write two sets of parentheses just as I've done when I've factored before. The first term in each of these parentheses will be 4h. The last term in each of these parentheses will be 3a. Now, what you do after you write that in is you make one of them positive, one of them negative. It doesn't matter. Plus, minus, you're done. Okay? That's what it will factor to be. This is called the difference of two squares. This is something that will carry on all the way through your high school career. So let's look at the next one. Okay? Is 121 a perfect square?
Yeah.
What is squared to give me 121? 11. What is squared to give me 4? 2. Okay. So now I start with two sets of parentheses. 1, 2. What's the first one in each? 11. What's the last term? 2k. What do you do now?
1 negative, 1 negative.
1 negative, 1 positive. And there you go. Yeah. What? Because 4 is 2 times 2. And so now if you were to FOIL this out, believe it or not, it will actually give you 121 minus 4k squared. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at this next one. Very first thing, what do you need to do?
Factor. Or no, find the.
Listen to wait, just here. Okay, so we need to take out what's in common. So what is in common here, Kels? 3. G. Good. 3g. So now when I take a 3 from 27, what does that leave me with? 9. Take a g from g cubed. What does that leave me with?
G squared.
G squared minus 1. So then now I have two terms inside the parentheses. I know both 9 and 1 are special numbers. So that group back there, what is squared to give me 9g squared? That group back there. 3g. Yep. What about you guys? What's this one going to be? 1. Okay. So, up here in the front, what will go inside the parentheses? Right here. 3g and 1. Okay, what do you do here now?
Plus minus.
Plus, minus. There you go. And that's it. That's all you do. Okay? So, real quick, I want you to do 81 minus c squared for me. 81 minus c squared shouldn't take you very long. (81 minus c squared). So what will that factor to be? Almost. What's your first term squared? 9. Last term? C. 1 positive, 1 negative. There you go. 9 plus c, 9 minus c. So think we can handle the difference of squares?
Possibly.
Okay. So real quick, what's different on this one?
negative number.
The order. First of all, let's rewrite this order because right now we can't factor in. So let's rewrite this and let's rewrite it as 9y minus 4y cubed. Back group, what do you notice? They're both squares. What else do you notice? The y's. What can you do with the y's? Take one out. So when I take y out, what do you have? That group back there. 9
minus 4y squared.
4y squared. Good. This group, what do I do next?
You change out,
3 and what else? And 2y. Good. So then I end up having this group. What comes next?
3
plus 2y.
Okay. And 3 minus 2y. There you go. So sometimes you might have to be a little creative in what you do. Okay? You might have to be a little creative in how you rewrite things. This next one.
Just
Is 625 a perfect square?
Yes.
25.
25. What will this one be?
X squared.
X squared. So then now I end up having 25 plus x squared and 25 minus x squared. And I'm going to tell you right now that that is not the correct answer.
Because
So-
you can do it again.
You can square x.
Oh, you square them again.
So real quick, if you notice 25 minus x squared here, I can actually factor the difference of squares again. Okay? 25 is what? X is what? Or x squared. X. So what do I do with the 25 plus the x squared? You leave it alone. You cannot factor this down because it is not a minus sign. You have to leave it alone because it's an addition. Now here I'm going to have two quantities. First quantity is what? 5 minus x and 5 plus x. Can I break any more of them down? No, so that is good. So now what you're going to have to do is look to see if you can even do it again. Not even just a first time, you have to look to see if you can do it a second time. So with that in mind, I want you to do this one for me. 16 n to the 4th minus 1. Okay, 16 n to the 4th minus 1. You guys are doing so great on this. Oh my gosh. So impressed.
It's on my book cover, trust me, I did.
Okay, so Jeff, what'd you get?
4n squared plus 1
Okay.
times 2n minus 1 times 2n.
Perfect. That is exactly correct. Okay? So you actually had to do that twice. So that should be your final answer. Any questions?
Is it alongside?
We're not done yet.
Yeah, 6, 7,
Okay, so let's look at this one. What do you do on this one?
5.
5x. What does that leave me with?
X to the 4.
X to the 4th minus 9. So then now I need to see if x to the 4th and 9 are both perfect squares. Now if they aren't, you're done. And you just circle it. Is x to the 4th a perfect square?
Yes.
What is it?
X squared.
What about 9?
3.
Okay, so then I end up having 5x times,
X squared minus
okay, and then
3. X squared plus 1.
can you break down this anymore?
No.
No. So you are good. And that is your final answer. Okay? The perfect squares, the only thing, and the question was, could I break 3 down into be 1.5? And the answer is no, because remember, our perfect squares were what we listed on that very first slide. Those are the only numbers you can use.
Holy, what?
Oh,
Can we skip this slide?
4 terms. So let's revisit back to 4 terms, because you've seen this, believe it or not, you've seen this before.
Foil.
When I had 4 terms, what do I do?
Foil.
Group them. Yep, I'm gonna group them by 2. So, group back there. What can I take out from the first group? 7 x squared. What does that leave me with? That group.
One
Yep, 1x.
minus 3.
Good. This group, what do you take out from the second bunch? -7. This group here, what does that leave me with?
X
X.
3.
Minus 3.
Minus 3. No, plus 3.
It's a negative.
Negative 7.
So do those match?
No.
No.
They don't match. So can I really factor this?
No.
No, so what do I call this?
Prime.
Yes!
Could you just take out
You can't, if you take out a +7, that's gonna make the x negative. So that one's actually prime. Okay, that group back there, where do I start? Group them, okay? This group here, what do you take out from the first group?
And squared.
M squared. This group over here, what does that leave me with?
2m plus 1.
2m plus 1. What can I take out from the next group?
negative 25.
-25. That group, what does that leave me with?
25 and
2m
Plus
plus plus 1. Okay, that group back there, what will this factor to be? 2m plus 1? M squared minus 25. Am I done that group?
Yes.
Am I done this group?
No.
No, why am I not done back there, Christian?
I don't know. You said he was wrong. He said
Okay.
yes, so there's only-
Why am I not done this group?
I'm gonna go with you and ask you that.
You can factor that a little more. How can I factor m squared minus 25?
Negative 5.
M minus 5
And plus 1.
and m plus 5. Very good. So, all
Nice.
right? Some questions. This is what you need to do. 15 through 43. Now I'm going to warn you, tomorrow we're going to have a worksheet over this. So this assignment will actually be due Thursday.
Yes.
Now I will tell you, do not put this off until tomorrow. Okay? You want to get started today. At least now you've got about 20 minutes. Get going. Try and get as much done as you can.